I don't think I could afford to, really. I knew what obviously joining Placebo would mean, and that did excite me, and yeah, made me a little nervous, I guess, thinking about it. But actually going in there and playing with them for the first time and kind of starting to build that relationship, I couldn't really afford to be nervous. I just had to go in there and do what they want me to do, and what the reason that they called me, go in there and do my job the best that I can. And so no, I wasn't really nervous. It was like the first time we played together, it felt like we've been playing together
for 2 minutes.
For a lot longer than we actually had.
It seems like you've been playing guitar these days quite a lot. And do you think you're now like a main guitarist for Placebo, or you still consider yourself as a bassist?
When I started to play musical instruments, back when I was, I think, 11 or 12, I started on the drums and then got kind of bored of that. I thought, if I'm going to be in a band, I want to be seen more. Then I started to play the bass. But then there's also piano, so I sat down and learned how to play the piano. And also the guitar, so I don't really consider myself to be, just a bass player or just a guitar player. But, I mean, over the years, yes, I have tended to play more guitar on the Placebo records. It's been that way.
On stage, you're definitely the lead guitarist, I would say.
Yeah, I play more guitar now, yes.
Thank you. Well, this is for a game from the fans. That's a question for the three of you guys. But could you please tell us impression of Japan? Because somehow some fans feeling like maybe Placebo don't like us. That's why they don't come to Japan. That kind of like a wrong impression they have. But what is your impression or second off? The thing you really like about Japan?
I've already explained why we haven't sort of come back to Japan in such a long time. So, and it had to do with not getting any support from our record company. So it's really got nothing to do with the fans or us not liking Japan or not liking the Japanese fans. I think what's interesting for us, and what I really like, is when you go to a different country and it's almost like going to a different planet. That's why I like going to India as well. It's just so culturally kind of different from where you're raised that the potential for learning is just great. It's wide open, and I think that's what's the most interesting thing, is that you go to other European countries or North America or South America, there are cultural references which are still, which are shared, I suppose. Whereas you go to somewhere like India or you go somewhere like Japan, it's got a very, very strong cultural identity, which is very, very different from yours. And the discovery of that, I think, is what is the most fun aspect of it, and the most interesting, and just the capacity that you have as a human being to learn because of that, And for me, what's interesting is traditions and history, and things like that. So I find that very, very stimulating.
Did you actually have time? The last time you went to Japan, did you actually have time?
Well, not as much as you'd like. You never really have as much time as you'd like, in all of these exotic places that you go to, because you have to work. But I'm very interested in spirituality and religion of the Far East and things like that. So the visiting temples and things like that is very interesting for me, and I'm quite interested in Buddhism as well. So it's all kind of wrapped up in that aspect for me personally.
Yeah, last time we came back from Japan, I had a couple bumps on my head. Some of the doorways weren't exactly the same height as what used to over here.
It happened yesterday, didn't it?
Too tall for this one.
In a Japanese restaurant yesterday.